Hey guys, it's me again, welcome back, and today we're going to do something a little informal. We're actually going to go over some of the races that I did in March. We're actually going to go over all the races I did in March, but we're going to try and make it quick and just give you a brief overview from Strava and from some of the other stuff that I've collected over the month. And as you notice, I am in a study room right now. I do not know what those numbers mean over there. That could be like how bad my pace time is or how long the next race will be, but I got to keep it down a little because I don't want to have a noise complaint on me in here. So we'll just see how this goes. Okay. See, people walk by and they're like, what is that dude doing? So I participated in like 6 races in March. There were 5 weekends in March, and one of those weekends had 2 races. And if you look at my Strava, you'll actually notice that I'm missing one date in there. I'm gonna link, or I'll put a picture up around here. Hopefully it'll cover up my hands that are waving like wacky on all stuff, showing like how far I went each Saturday, except for the middle of the month. And again, we'll go over that as we get to it. But the first weekend was March 2nd. It was a 5K, and I think this was the most normal 5K out of the group. But it's not a normal 5K because it was the Lucky Leprechaun 5K. It happened in Camden, South Carolina, and it was in conjunction with Camden's St. Patrick's Day Festival. I guess they were holding it early because they wanted to conflict with the Columbia St. Patrick's Day Festival, which happens in the middle of the month. I think on St. Patrick's Day I missed out on it because I wasn't around. But if you look at the picture, it's a relatively flat course. I think I had like an 8:10 to 8:13 mile pace out there. I was going a lot faster than I was expecting. I didn't think I would be going anywhere near that. I thought I'd be doing like an 8:30 because I was sick off and on throughout February, and I didn't get to run as much as I wanted to. But you can see that I've got the pace. I've got the hills down there for you guys to look at. Again, probably covering up my hands. You're not going to see me like waving, like all that stuff. This was the one race where I actually placed in my age group, and I forgot to bring the cup with me, but I did get a nice green aluminum cup that I can drink out of. I love getting non-metal stuff for placing. So we'll go ahead and look at the next weekend, which was March 9th. And that, like I said, was where I ran 2 races. So one in the morning and one at night. Now the first one is probably one of my top 3 races that I love doing in the Columbia area. It's the March for Meals 5K. This is put on by a nonprofit group, Senior Resources of South Carolina. It's to benefit the Senior Resources activities that they take care of, and the primary one being the Meals on Wheels program. Now, if you didn't catch it from my other video, the March for Meals 5K takes place on a paved trail through the Timmerman Trail. Something new that Senior Resources added in there was everybody who paid for an entry fee to get into the race got a taco off their like brand new taco truck that they just bought and commissioned a couple months ago. So there's this nice long line of people waiting to get their beef, chicken, chorizo or veggie burrito taco while they were there. Me being the person who looks at the line and goes, I want to go quick, I ended up with a beef one, but one of my buddies had a chorizo one and he absolutely loved it. So if you're in the Columbia area and you see the Senior Resources taco truck, go get something from them. The night of the 9th was another nonprofit 5K. It was a glow run, so it's not your typical race. This took place in Saluda Shoals. I love running in Saluda Shoals Park. This was for the Lighthouse for Life. Their race was called Run for Her Life 5K, and it was to raise awareness for domestic underage human trafficking. And again, I have to make sure I've got all the words in there. I'm pretty sure they raised a lot of money because there were a lot of people out there wearing glow-in-the-dark bracelets. They had some glow-in-the-dark paint, neon colors were going. The course was well marked out. The only thing that threw me off with that race was that they had a laid out path to go on, but because of the rains from the night before, it basically ended up being like almost an out and back. And I can't remember Oh, I ended up with like a 10:02, 10:07 mile pace on that one. And I will attribute part of it to being tired from the morning's 5K, but also once when I caught up to my 10-year-old daughter, I ran with her the whole way, and I'm pretty proud of my little Tori for going the distance on that one. She had to walk a little bit, but she's finished strong on that one, so good job, Tori. Now, looking at March 16th on Strava, you'll see I didn't do anything, but that's because I didn't want to carry my phone through a mud run. We went down to Charleston for the Rugged Maniac. The Rugged Maniac was one race where ever since we moved into South Carolina, we've tried to get into. We've done obstacle course races before in Texas. But for this one, it sounded really interesting. And again, it's right outside Charleston, and we love Charleston. The issue was the Rugged Maniac always conflicted with either my Army schedule or with another race that we would sign up for. However, this year, I'm not in the Army anymore, and I have no other races that were taking place that we were getting ready to sign up for. So we went for that one. And then we learned about the Get to the Green race, which I love doing, but we had to jump on the Rugged Maniac. That is a very fun, festive, informal race. It doesn't, unlike other obstacle course races, when they say 3.1 miles, they mean 3.1 miles or a 5K. I've done a Spartan before where they're like, oh yeah, it's between 3 and 5 miles. And then it ended up being a little bit over 5 miles. The terrain race that we did, I think the one that was up in North Carolina, that one was longer than projected, but with the Rugged Maniac, it was the distance they said it was, and there were 20-something obstacles out there. That's the one where my GoPro died because we had so many people in our wave. It was fun, and you will get stuck in some of the obstacles because there's so much mud, but there were a couple where we had like congestion, and you just basically had to wait in line for people to finish up before it was your turn to go. So if you haven't seen the Rugged Maniac video, go ahead, check it out. I tried to keep it as stable as possible, but anyways. The 23rd of March was another non-typical race. It was the Quarry Crusher. This is another one I love doing. I didn't get to do it last year because it conflicted with the Daybreak, which I'm going to be doing next month, or it's April. I'll be doing it this month in a couple of weeks. But if you don't know what the Quarry Crusher run is, it's a 3+ mile race where you start on flat ground and you start going down to the bottom of a quarry, and then you try and make your way back up. This is a race where a lot of people are going to get their PRs or their PBs. According to Strava, and I guess because I didn't start Strava until much later, I actually got my fastest mile and my fastest kilometer in there with like a 7:30 and a 4:36 respectively. I know I can run faster than that. Okay, I can't run faster than that right now, but I used to run a lot faster than that like 2 years ago. But if you see a Quarry Crusher race happening in your area or anything like it, I suggest you go do it because it is so fun to do. And then the final race I did was the True to the Brew. And this one is a trail race, and it's a true trail race, but it's not a technical trail race. It's a very flat 10 kilometers, okay, it's about 6.5 miles. And it's over a old converted railroad track. There's no railroad track anymore, but it's turned into a conservation path, and it's part of South Carolina's Palmetto Trail. Strava was pretty funny on this one with me too, because it said that my pace last year was 8:52 or 8:51, whereas this year was an 8:52. But if you look at my individual mile breakdown, you'll see that I was really slow at the beginning, and then for some reason, I don't know why, the last mile and a half, I had over a 9:40 mile, and I don't understand that one, so I'm going to like go back and look. I know I walked up one of the switchbacks, but that was it. So I don't know why I slowed down so much. Maybe I just forgot to turn off the Strava. We'll see. But at the very beginning, in typical fashion, I started in the very back, and I should not have, because there were over 300 people there, and there were a lot of walkers, and there were walkers with hiking sticks, and they didn't mean to do it, but they were blocking some of us other runners who were out there, and it kind of delayed us from actually moving forward because they were over there like playing with their armbands, tucking stuff in their vests, and they got their sticks just stuck out like this. And it was pretty interesting, but it was still a great run. And if you know anything about the True to the Brew series, there is beer at the end. I'm not a beer drinker. I hand the beer off to the wife. Other people will hand beers off to, but it's a lot of fun. And it's some great scenery that you normally don't get to check out. Oh yeah, there's a 1,000-foot long old railroad bridge you run across in the True to the Brew, the Peak to Prosperity 10K. That thing is phenomenal, and you will actually see people after the race like go out there and get their pictures and stuff, because you normally don't make it up to that area, and it's only like 30 or 45 minutes away from Columbia. So it was great. But that is all I've got for now. Let me know if you guys have any questions on the races down here. Let me know if you want to see me keep doing this. I'm not as good as some of the other people who do like daily vlogs and everything, but I'm going to try and incorporate some unusual or some of the off-the-wall stuff into this channel, see what happens. We'll throw everything on the wall and see what sticks. How's that? Okay, so if you're new, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But until then, I'll catch you guys later, and I will stop trying to stutter. Bye, guys.